all the nighttime into the day. Do the song about a sweet love moment. They do the song about the night. When you do the walk of life. Yeah, you do the walk of life. Time into the day. The song about a sweet love woman. They do the song about the night. Then they do the walk of life. Yeah, you do the walk of life. Baby, what I say. Here comes Johnny singing, I got a woman down in the tunnel trying to make it pay. He got the action, he got the motion. Oh yeah, the boy can play. The dedication, devotion, the turning all the nighttime into the day. And after all the violence and double talk, it's just a song ain't all the trouble and the strife. You do the walk, yeah, you do the walk of life. You do the walk of life.
In a bar in Toledo, across from the depot, on a bar stool she took off her ring. I thought I'd get closer, so I walked on over. I sat down and asked her name. When the drinks finally hit her, she said, I'm no quitter, but I finally quit living on dreams. I'm hungry for laughter, and here ever after, I'm after whatever the other life brings. In the mirror I saw him, and I closely watched him. I thought how he looked out of place. He came to the woman who sat there beside me. He had a strange look on his face. Now his big hands were calloused, he looked like a mountain. For a minute I thought I was dead. But he started shaking, his big heart was breaking, and he turned to the woman and said, you picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille, with 4 hungry children and crops in the field. I've had some bad times, lived through some sad times, but this time the hurting won't heal. You picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille. After he left us, I ordered more whiskey. I thought how she'd made him look small. from the lights of the barroom to a rented hotel room, we walked without talking at all. Now she was a beauty, but when she came to me, she must have thought I'd lost my mind. 'Cause I couldn't hold her, the words that he told her kept coming back time after time. You picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille, with 4 hungry children and crops in the field. And I've had some bad times, I've lived through some sad times, but this time the hurting won't heal. You picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille. You picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille, with 4 hungry children and crops in the field. I've had some bad times, lived through some sad times, but this time the hurting won't heal. You picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille.
Voy a hacer de cuenta que no exististe. Tú de mí, olvida que un día me viste. Ya lo ves, los dos nos equivocamos. Y es mejor que otros caminos sigamos y que esta despedida sea por el bien de todos. Inventaré algún modo para vivir sin ti. Te juro que nadie más te amará como yo. Mas hoy por ti mi pecho arde, porque me duele decirte que a ti he llegado tarde. Aunque no te vuelva a ver, quiero que sepas que haré por ti. Y viaje sin boleto, y en la distancia siempre serás mi eterno amor secreto. Porque entre nosotros no hay distancia, ni tiempo, ni espacio. Será siempre eterno nuestro amor. Te juro que nadie más te amará como yo. Mas hoy por ti mi pecho arde, porque me duele decirte que a ti he llegado tarde. Aunque no te vuelva a ver, quiero que sepas que haré por ti. Y viaje sin boleto, y en la distancia siempre serás mi eterno amor secreto.
on a warm summer's evening, on a train bound for nowhere, I met up with a gambler. We were both too tired to sleep, so we took turns staring out the window at the darkness. The boredom overtook us, and he began to speak. He said, "Son, I made my life out of reading people's faces and knowing what the cards were by the way they held their eyes. So if you don't mind me saying, I can see you're out of aces. For a taste of your whiskey, I'll give you some advice." So I handed him my bottle, and he drank down my last swallow. Then he bummed a cigarette and asked me for a light. And the night got deathly quiet, and his face lost all expression. Said, "If you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right. You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done." Now every gambler knows the secret to surviving is knowing what to throw away, knowing what to keep. 'Cause every hand's a winner and every hand's a loser, and the best you can hope for is to die in your sleep. So when he'd finished speaking, he turned back toward the window, crushed out his cigarette, and faded off to sleep. Then somewhere in the darkness, the gambler, he broke even. But in his final words I found an ace that I could keep. You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. You got to know when to hold 'em,